Okay, welcome to today's advanced lesson on conditionals. I haven't taught this grammar before to students, but it's this grammar. This and this is very common. It's second and third conditional. But this structure we sometimes see, and we don't actually need it. Because you can use second, it seems to me. It only sounds good to use this one if you're using dynamic verbs. That's something to remember, dynamic. Not stative verbs, not stative, because it uses a continuous tense, past continuous, and a future continuous, will be doing, but changed to would be doing. And so stative verbs are not possible here. No stative verbs, please. No state verbs. Now, these are all hypotheticals. We use third conditional for past hypotheticals. If I hadn't passed my exams 10 years ago, I wouldn't have gone to university 10 years ago. We use this, if and past simple and would, for present hypotheticals or future, and this is why this is unnecessary. Actually, you can use second. If I were president, I would decrease taxes now. We're talking about now in this sentence, really. If I were president now, I would decrease taxes. But you can use it for future as well. If I went with you next week, I would bring a laptop. That is possible. However, because we say next week, if I were going, using the past continuous sounds better than past simple. And it's simply because we know when in the future and because it's dynamic as well, that it sounds better than if I went. If I were going with you next week, I would bring, second conditional, a laptop. However, you can say, if I were going with you next week, I'd be bringing a laptop. I would be bringing. You can use this form here. It's quite unusual. I don't think people do it much. Perhaps that's why I have never taught it before. But it is possible. So many times both are possible. The only reason I'm teaching this is because one of my students, Helen, I gave her the link to a website and it gave her lots of questions with this form. And I feel bad now that she got many of them wrong. And actually she didn't get them wrong. She used second conditional, which is acceptable, but the computer program, the website which I sent her to, they weren't very good questions, and the person who made the quiz didn't seem to understand that second was also possible. So please, Helen, don't worry, your mark was much higher than than what the computer gave you. But anyway, I'm making this to make this clear. This form is used for future hypotheticals, in particular with specific moments. Concrete moments, concrete moments. Next week, January the 15th, 3 o'clock. All of those are concrete future times. Okay, I've got two examples here of mixing, first of all, third and second. If I hadn't stolen the money 3 weeks ago, I wouldn't be in prison now. But we could mix the past hypothetical, if I hadn't stolen the money 3 weeks ago, with a future hypothetical. I would be going on holiday with you next week. Notice we use this, I would be going. Using a second example, I wouldn't have done that last week. Yeah, let's make that clear. Here we mean I wouldn't have done that is last week. I wouldn't have done that last week. Same for this as well. These are all past. If I were you now, or I wouldn't have done that last week if I were getting promoted in a few days. Maybe your friend is getting promoted in a few days and he did something stupid 1 week ago. Maybe he called the boss something really bad. He called him a very bad name. And you say to him, I wouldn't have called the boss, something nasty if I were getting promoted in a few days. So you're mixing third and this other conditional, which is a future hypothetical. Okay, I don't want to call it fourth conditional or anything like that. It's just another exotic conditional, but I would call it future hypotheticals, and I would use it for concrete future moments, and I would never use it for stative verbs because it's dynamic. It's got continuous tenses all the way through it. Okay, I hope that is clear. If there are any questions about advanced conditionals, or if anyone's got a very strange conditional that they would like to write in the comments, I would be delighted to read your exotic conditionals, because I've seen some which are very strange. I've even seen a real first conditional mixed with a hypothetical third conditional, and you don't often see that. But if anyone has anything different to what I've written on the board, please put it underneath, because I'd like to look at it as well, and perhaps even speak about it one time. Anyway, please subscribe if you like the video, and yeah, I hope to see you soon. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you've enjoyed this lesson and would like to receive more over the next few weeks. Here are some videos on phrasal verbs, auxiliary verbs, tenses, and verb forms as well, like gerunds and 2+ infinitive. Please watch them and try the quizzes below the videos, and I hope that you improve.